Professor Phakeng, you're working now at the very highest level of South African education, but your own career as a teacher, your own studies have also focused very much on day one of education for our children. A broad question, why are we struggling to get education on track in our country? If you could pick out a couple of key problems, what would they be?
I mean, for me, it's, and I'm focusing only on mathematics.
Yes.
I mean, I think the key problem is we're not paying much attention on pre-service teacher education, how we train our teachers. Our teachers used to be trained at colleges. We closed down the colleges. They're done at universities. But there isn't really a standard as to what a teacher who goes into university, what maths they should be taught.
Yes.
What depth, how much, how high. And so every university decides. And so as we dealing with in-service teachers, and there are programs there, we're producing teachers who, there isn't a standard. I can tell you that teachers who come out of university are trained, this is the standard, the minimum that's required for all of them in terms of mathematics. Okay, and I think we have to pay attention to pre-service teacher education, preparing them mathematically to the level that at least consistently across universities we know that. Secondly, I think the other problem we have is even if we had the best teachers in the world, if we do not spend enough time on task, like the time that's just allocated to teach our learners, we will not make progress. I'm not talking extra classes. I'm talking if we require our children to spend 7 hours a week on mathematics, do we have 7 hours a week focused on mathematics for all the weeks of teaching in the year?
You obviously think we don't. Do you have any idea why?
There is research that shows that not all schools have have that time on task sorted. So I think there's arguments to that, and there are a variety of reasons as to why that happens. But let me go to the third one, and that's my last. I mean, I think we don't focus also on the conditions of teaching. I mean, most of the time when we talk about the problems of teachers and teaching the outcomes, we talk about what teachers are or are not doing. If you go into many of our schools and look at the conditions, the staff room, how it looks like, how teachers, I mean, and I keep thinking, how would I function if I worked in an environment where when it rains, we have to find buckets to catch the water, where, so just the environment, it's not all the schools where the environment of teaching, where teachers feel safe. We only heard recently about a teacher who's attacked by a learner, but that's not new. That's been happening for years, where sometimes teachers feel scared because it's not safe for them. So there's the conditions of teaching, there's time on task, and there's teacher education. If I was asked what are the three things that I would start with those three things, because I would say if you have our curriculum with all its flaws, but you do these three, it's possible that we might get somewhere.
You did your PhD on maths education, and I'm going to simplify one thing I got from it enormously, and you can obviously fix it if I've got it wrong. But I understood you to have found that if in a classroom, teachers use all the languages that the children know to do maths, they're going to learn maths much better. So if, for example, they're struggling to understand a maths lesson in English, but a teacher allows them to ask questions in Tswana and engages in that language with them, they've got a much better chance of learning maths. If I've understood that right, that sounds to me like something very simple to fix if people would only listen carefully to what you found.
Well, I mean, it sounds simple to fix, but there's good reasons why. I mean, and you're talking about my earlier research that talks about code switching, which has moved on to saying code switching is not even enough. We can do more than that. Because in my work, in my research, I started by looking at what do teachers do if they teach learners who are not fully fluent in the language of learning and teaching. Okay, once I understood what is it that they do, And when I look at what they do, I look at the mathematics learning. How is mathematics learning enabled in these environments? Then I looked at, what are the weaknesses? And then I went on to say, okay, now I understand what is. And then I went on to say, so what could be? Given what that is, if we want to improve mathematics learning, how can we improve it? And I looked at what are teachers using to improve. And I found that those who are trying are using code switching.
Yes.
And we thought that's not enough. We moved on to saying, well, how about going for the deliberate, strategic, and proactive use of the learner's home languages in mathematics teaching and learning, which means a learner doesn't have to declare that their English is not good enough and so they want to say something in Setswana. Or the teacher doesn't have to make rules that it's okay in my class and the next teacher says it's not okay in my class. If it's proactive and strategic and deliberate, it means that every text that we give to the learners comes in two languages, my home language and English. Why? Because my research shows that learners, teachers, and parents want access to English, because access to English gives them access to social goods, and they don't yet recognize mathematics as an important social good that they should want access to. And so we thought there's no point in denying them access to English because you want them to get
both.
You offer both.
Yes.
Again, deliberately. So texts come in both languages. The rule in class or the practice in class is clear that all the languages are allowed. So you don't have to declare that your English is not good enough and whatever. You can just look at the English version when you want, and you can go to your home language version as and when you need to. And so we've tried that in many classrooms where the highest number of languages was 5 languages, home languages, and English. And we found that actually changes the mathematical engagement, how they engage with the mathematics. And our view is that how you engage with the mathematics will shape your performance. Because if the way you engage with the mathematics is only procedural, only talks about we move this number from here to there,
yes,
whatever, that's not meaningful. What we need our learners to be doing is to be asking, why does it work? What if I do this? And also for them to be able to explain why moving this number to there works and moving it there doesn't work. To have some conceptual engagements and understanding of the mathematics that they're doing.
Professor Phakeng, I always finish by offering my guests 3 wishes. I have no power to grant them, but here we go. First wish, what's your wish for the University of Cape Town?
My wish for the University of Cape Town is to sustain its excellence as it transforms itself. I think transformation is key. We have to transform. But as we transform, we've got to look back at what our excellence offers that can help us to make this transformation meaningful. Because as I always say, excellence without transformation is not sustainable.
What's your wish for young South Africans, boys and girls who are thinking, maths, I can't do that?
My wish is that they never hear any CEO, anyone in a position of power, saying they were never good at maths. I hope they never get to hear that. Because if they don't, then they might just think that there's a chance for them. The problem with hearing so many people admitting proudly that they were never good at maths is that it normalizes not being good at maths. So I hope our young people never get to hear that.
What's your wish for yourself?
My wish for myself is for my children to be happy. I've got good children. And it's interesting when you're a parent that you spend most of your time when your children are little just wanting them to get distinctions at school. Mm-hmm. And I'm at a stage where I just want my children to be good human beings. So I wish that they can be good human beings. Whether they have degrees or not, I want them to be happy and to be good citizens of the world and good human beings. For themselves and for others.
Professor Mamokgethi Phakeng, many thanks for giving us your time on Under the Skin.
Thank you very much for having me, John.